Hey guys, so I'm filming my December wrap up because it is now January and it needs to be done. So I read a total of 6 novels, 2 novellas, 1 graphic novel, and a short story, and I think that's pretty damn good. So, first book I read this month was yep. Seen this one before. It's yet another reread, and I read it because I just finished A Monster Calls and The Subtle Knife, and I just moved on to The Amber Spyglass, and the thing is, it was a whole bunch of depressing books, and I wasn't in the mood for something depressing, so I picked up something funny and light-hearted, and it fixed me right up. This was geniusly hilarious, as per usual. This series has such a special place in my heart. Second book I read was Anya's Ghost by Vera Brosgol. This is a printed off thing because I read it at the library, and the reason it looks so munted is because when I printed it, at the time of printing it off, the white cartridge had stopped working, but oh my god, this was so good. It was creepy as all hell, and like, the art style is really nice and refreshing. It's minimalistic and easy to follow, and has a nice purplish color scheme, and I'm down for the purple color schemes. So yeah, and highly recommended. And if you haven't read it, go read it now. Next book I finished was The Amber Spyglass by Philip Pullman. This is the final book. This is the third and final book in the his Dark Materials trilogy, and oh my god, it took me so long to get through. Like, I started it back in like early November, and it did not want to be finished, but it got there. And it was totally worth it because it was really good, and we got introduced to a whole bunch of new worlds, a whole bunch of new like species, and it was really enjoyable. And although I found the ending to be a bit abrupt, and I'm not one for abrupt endings, but either way, it's a great series. It's a great little series, and if you haven't read it, go read it. Next book I read was Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. Saw this at the library for 50 cents, so I had to pick it up. It's a nice hardcover book, and I also really enjoyed this. Like, I wasn't expecting to, because I'm not really much of a contemporary kind of guy, but it still was a really, really good. Not amazing, not groundbreaking, but still enjoyable. I like the whole fact that it has little, like, pictures and little playlists and things from actual places that the author went to when Sun went to make this book happen. And the romance, barely call it romance, so thank God for that. That's probably why I liked it so much. It's because it was minimal on the romance end. It was just a great little road trip book, and who doesn't love road trips? Next book I finished was Museum of Thebes by Leanne Tanner, and this is also another very enjoyable one. It's a middle grade book, and I picked it up because it was it's a $15 hardcover when they're usually about like $30, and it's just like, yes, cheap hardcovers. And then I saw that it was the first book in a trilogy, and I was just like, good. It's not because usually when we have cheap hardcovers flying around, they're usually like a second, third, or even fifth book in a series. And it's just Jeez. But very, very different. Not at all what I had no idea what I was expecting when going into it, but it was very, very enjoyable and just a good, well-rounded event, kind of adventurous dystopian combination of magical realism, dystopian, and adventure, and I like me some of that. It was very enjoyable, and you should totally go read it. Next book I read was the second Twilight graphic novel. I don't own the first, but I have previously read it. And yeah, I really do enjoy these graphic novel adaptations. The art is really, really, really nice. And yeah, it's just Twilight but in illustrated form, and yeah, why not? Next book I read was The Sleeper and the Spindle by Neil Gaiman, and illustrations by, what do you know, Chris Riddell. There is sun shining in from this window, and it is the fucking worst. Go away, sun. Nobody likes you. I fucking hate summer. But this was great. It's definitely like a fairy tale style retelling, kind of a combination. It's kind of like Sleeping Beauty meets Snow White meets a whole bunch of crazy ass shit that goes down, and it's great. And if you haven't read it, go read it. And also, I was expecting it to be quite narrow, but I wasn't expecting it to be this big. It's huge. I mean, that's it compared to my face. Big. Yes. And also, this took forever to get here. It took almost a month. It took almost a month to get here, and it's just like, no. Why? Yeah. Then I read, what was it? Destroy Me, which is, which the end of it is where the bookmark is, and it's the novella set after Shadow Me. I read Shadow Me earlier in the year, and I got the majority of the trilogy for Christmas. I didn't get Ignite Me, but yeah. And I thought this was great because when I first read Shadow Me, it was when everyone was all raving about, oh, Team Warner, Warner is amazing. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? He's a fucking creep. And the evilest bastard imaginable. And then I read the novella and it's just like, okay, still a cock, but you're less cockish now. That's good. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars, I think. About that. Then I don't have a picture or anything of it here, but I also read Roar and Live, which is the novella to the Under the Never Sky trilogy, set a few months before Under the Never Sky, and I found that to be okay. It was interesting. I'm glad I read it. It certainly explains some stuff, but wasn't amazing. It was kind of yeah. I get the 3 stars, which is like, it's a book that I liked it enough to keep it around and possibly reread it again, but like mixed feelings kind of thing. So yeah. Then the next book I finished was The Alchemist by Michael Scott. It is the first book in the Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel series, and I really like this. It's a good book, and I can't wait to go on with the rest of the series. Brain fart. Shit. Fuck. Great. Blanking like mad, but I thought the premise was definitely interesting and not necessarily super different, but it's not common, and I do enjoy books that have backstories to a lot of famous mythological beings and such. One of the main characters one of the main secondary characters that helps the people out is Hecate, and it was really cool and such. Yes, I did pronounce that correctly. You all pronounced it wrong. But yeah, and good book. And then the last book I read of the year was Bloodthirsty by Flynn Meaney, and this I love this book. It has a very, very, very special place in my heart, even though it's absolute trash. It's it's a book that helped me get through 2010. Come on. Yes. Read it. The premise is ridiculous. Just, just, just go read it, guys, please, please, please. It's a really ridiculous, enjoyable romp. And that is everything I read in December. So I will be uploading book haul. Sorry. I've been sick for a while. But yeah, I will be uploading a book haul at some point, plus all the end of the year bits and bobs that everybody uploads, like favorite books they read that year, resolutions, etc., etc. And yeah, I will see you guys then.